Hi people. I'm so tired. It's been storming all night long. Actually, it stormed most of the day yesterday too. It's been super hot and just miserable. So I thought I'd make a video today to show you about like the lessons I've learned from the stormy weather. So I think I told you guys before that I'm parked in my friend's driveway for the summer, which is great because it's easy. I have well, it's not necessarily easy, but I have access to a 110 outlet, so I can plug in and charge the Jackery and have extra power if what I'm doing the Jackery won't cut. And I also have water. The water situation's tricky, but I'll explain that later in another video. Probably, actually, that might be tomorrow's video because I want to do a video about the kitchen and the sink and how all that works. So the power situation is pretty great. It's been reliable. We've had a lot of storms this summer, and this is the first time we've lost power at my friend's house. And unfortunately, I didn't plan, so this is a lesson learned. Yesterday I decided I wanted to do a little science experiment. I don't know if you saw it on my Facebook page or not. I think I put it on Instagram too. But I wanted to do a little science experiment with the Jackery and the Instant Pot to see if the Jackery could handle the Instant Pot. I have a Jackery 1000 and I think an 8-quart Instant Pot. Don't quote me. It might be 6, but I think it's 8. I know my best friend Jen has the one size bigger. I think mine might be a 6. I don't know. So yeah, I decided to do a science experiment to see if the Jackery could handle the Instant Pot, and it worked out. It was fun. You can see the pictures and stuff on social media. But what wasn't smart of me to do was that I used the Jackery like crazy yesterday. Like, I was running all 3 of my fans. I have the fan up front in the kitchen. I have one, no, not the same. I have a reversible max air fan in the back. And I also have a little fan I picked up at Walmart by my bed. So I was running all 3 of those fans. It was like 90, in the high 90s for a good chunk of the day. Super humid, and I was also at the same time charging the Jackery. Now, the thing that you have to know about the Jackery and charging it is that the power box, there's a word for it, and I don't know what it's called right off, and I should. But when you plug the Jackery in to charge it, there's a box, and then that box goes into your 110 outlet. If you're charging 110, 12 volt doesn't have one. And so that box gets really hot. I mean, not like, well, it's gotten really hot to the point where I said I have to turn this off because it's not safe. I don't know if it's not safe. I don't want to say that because I love the Jackery. I think it will turn itself off if it overheats. But it's gotten really hot. So I was running all the fans and the Jackery or not the Jackery, the Instant Pot. The fans, the Instant Pot on the Jackery for probably, messing with it for probably 45 minutes, maybe. And, the charging box got really hot, so I disconnected it when I was all done. And I didn't reconnect it until the evening. And, so it got down to like 30% on the Jackery. And, with the, oh, and I had my, my fridge freezer running through there. So the fridge, the ice cold fridge, the 3 fans, they pull about 100 watts, around 100, 110 watts, somewhere in there when they're on, everything's on full blast. The ice cold fridge doesn't run all the time. It's got a Danfoss compressor, so it comes up to temp, turns off, and so, but on a hot day like it has been, it runs a lot. So it ran my Jackery down, and I was like, yeah, whatever, I'll plug it in tonight and let it charge overnight. Well, the freaking power went out. So, now the power's out at my friend's house next door where I'm staying, and I have like 30% on the Jackery. I do have, that's my Jackery 1000. I do have a Jackery 160, and that Jackery 160 can power the ice cold fridge freezer for a little while. Not a whole long time, but it might be enough if the power doesn't come on soon, between what's left in the Jackery 1000 and what's left in the 160, to be able to turn on for a while and keep things kind of okay. I'm mostly worried about, the stuff that's in my freezer. I have meat and stuff in there that I don't want to thaw. It's not super full in there, so I could go get some ice if I need to. Probably no luck in this area getting dry ice. I only know one place, and it's like 45 minutes away, and I'd rather not. So hopefully it'll come back on. But that was poor planning on my part. I should have, well, I will next time think, you know, like, there's storms in the area, the power can go out. It's all a lesson learned. We all have to go through these things to be, I mean, hopefully some of these things you see, use common sense and you see coming. But this was one of those ones where I was just like, I'm gonna goof with this. I don't have anything else to do. And then it kicked me in the ass. So, the other bummer, I really was going to do, my plan for today was to do a video on my kitchen sink. I wanted to show you how my, rechargeable faucet that I've created works, and how I do all of those things. But unfortunately, since the power is out, my friend has no water at her, because she's on a well. She has no water at her house, and I also didn't plan for that. And lesson learned, I'm down to like a gallon of water in my 7-gallon freshwater container, and I have enough water in the Berkey. I think I have probably 2 gallons in the Berkey, so I have plenty of drinking water. But as far as using the sink to be able to show you for a video, it's not gonna work today. Yeah, so the great thing about being able to stay in my friend's driveway this summer is and even when I was at my dad's house, over the winter, this, not just jumping and taking off to BLM land or, like 12, 13, 14 hours away from family, friends, a mechanic, is that I get to, not just any mechanic, a GMC mechanic. So if you don't have a GMC Motorhome, I'll tell you that because this motorhome is 45 years old, there's not a whole lot of mechanics that want to work on this. This motorhome is has an Oldsmobile Tornado 455 engine, and it's not rocket science. It's very simple, but people see the age of it and they just don't want to bother. They don't want to work on it. And also, many of the mechanics that probably could work on it, their garages probably aren't big enough to get the motorhome in it, and finding one that's willing to do it in their parking lot is just a needle in a haystack. So it's hard when it's hard when you're not in the area. Like, I use Cinnabar in Sandusky, Michigan, which is 2.5 hours northeast of here, up in the thumb, and or what they consider the thumb of Michigan. And I use them when I can't find someone else to fix it. My brother is a great resource. He's a great guy to help me out. He's done a lot of work on the coach. And, you know, when I'm not either in Michigan or in New York, in that area, it's hard for me to find somebody to work on the coach. I can do some simple things, like change out spark plugs and wires, and I can problem solve like the carburetor, or I can change a hose. I can, you know, simple stuff I've either done already or I can figure out how to do. And but if it's any more than that, then I need somebody to help me do it. Yeah, so it's convenient for me to be, right now, as I learn and I continue to work the kinks out of the motorhome, because it sat for more than 15 years. We're guessing probably closer to 20 years. It just sat, and that's terrible for any vehicle. So things are just gonna keep going on. Like right now, I haven't made a video or talked about it yet, but my water pump went. When I came back from New York in June, on my way back to Michigan, I noticed I had a coolant leak, and I just assumed. I changed the coolant hoses out, and with a friend, and I assumed one of the hose clamps was loose or something, and it was literally just a drip after the engine had been running. So I was like, I'll just keep pouring coolant in there till I get back to Michigan and figure it out. Well, I couldn't figure it out, and finally got a neighbor to come and look underneath the coach while it ran, and I was like, oh, it's just a drip, and it's just when it's running. So we got it running, and he went to go look, and it just started pouring out. And he took one look and said, yeah, your water pump just let loose. So, great. Now I had to find a mechanic here, because my options are find a mechanic here in town to fix it, or have it towed back up to Cinnabar, and I've done that 3 times already, and it's 120 some miles. AAA just changed their policy and said you pay for anything over $500. So, great. There's an expense I didn't want right now. And so I've been looking around all summer. I've literally been stuck in my friend's driveway all summer because I haven't found somebody to fix this water pump. And luckily the other day, or I hope this works out, I really do. I found a neighbor, that same neighbor, his son does mechanic stuff, and he's telling me that he can fix it. So I have to get the parts, and let's hope. Yeah, so back to what I was saying before about it being convenient. I want to be like all other nomads and just jump, you know, run and go explore and check things out. But for my own sanity, I still don't quite trust the motorhome. I keep working out kinks, and I mean, I can't feel mad about it because it's sat for 15 years, 20 years. And And then I'm also, at the same time, I'm learning about how my Jackery works, what I can push it, what the limits are, what I can do, what I shouldn't do. You know, I shouldn't run it down on a day where there's thunderstorms in the area, because that was stupid. And so yeah, I'm learning, and I'm hoping to be able to take it down south somewhere for the winter. I'm just not sure where yet. It's making me nervous. I would really love to go back to South Carolina. I love South Carolina. But that's one of those, you have no help, and no mechanic. It's going to cost a chunk of change to park somewhere for the winter. So I haven't figured that out. I was looking at a place in one of the Facebook groups. I did see someone started a like a school bus. I think he had 3 acres or something, and he was offering up places for school buses to do their build, for schoolies to do their builds. And I reached out to him, and he said it would be $100 a month, and it sounded great. He was willing to take me in, even though I'm not a schoolie. But the trouble, I'm seeing 2 things. It's pretty far out in the country, which is great, but I only have just a motorhome, so I can't tow the Jeep yet. And I'm not sure I'm going to tow the Jeep, but I don't have a vehicle besides the motorhome, and I need a job, so that would be tricky. I've been looking around in that area to see where there's some hospitals and some stores and stuff, to see where I possibly could get a job. But the big thing that's telling me maybe that's not a good option for me right now is he has no water on his property. He has electric, but he doesn't have any water. And so I would have to leave probably every 3 days with the coach to go get water, which doesn't sound bad, right? Drive the coach every 3 days. Great. The coach, Kermit, loves to drive. He runs better when he's driving every day, like, runs like a champ. But, like right now, something goes wrong, and the motorhome's not running, I can't go get water. So, it's all those little things that just make you question which direction you should go in, and it can be frustrating at times. I find pros and cons lists to be super, super important. Like, my best friend is the one that reminds me all the time, did you do a pros and cons list? Yes, I did. Did you figure out what the best option is? No, I didn't. So, I'm just trying to figure that out. So if anybody has any ideas about where I could be out of the snow for the winter, in a place where, town is close, that I could look for jobs, let me know. Throw it down in the comments, or message me, or whatever. So, I think that's about all. This video's been almost 20 minutes long. I've just been rambling and rambling and rambling and rambling. So, I guess I should let you go. I will let everybody know when the power's back on, and if the power, this is my plan. See, this is the thing. When shit hits the fan, you have to have a plan. And my plan is, luckily, the Jackery can go anywhere I go. So, if it looks like the power's not going to come back on, I'm going to go to the library and put the Jackery under the table and charge it. It may take 8 hours to charge, but that's what I'm going to do. That's my plan. So, anyway, I'll let you know what's happening, and hopefully in the next couple days I'll be able to put a video up showing you my kitchen and how my little sink works. I hope you guys all have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.